a red stripe down the side. There's the whistle. 1 minute first period, 58 seconds, 57 seconds. There's got to be a sense of urgency in this round. Hubbard's in on a shot. He's got a single leg, a low single on Ramey. Ramey tried to hook up a cradle. He's kind of in a weird position. Ramey's laying on his side. He's got Hubbard's head pinched. Nothing's going to happen there. Our official is able to stop it, get them back up to their feet, and call a stalemate. So they're circling in the middle of the mat. Officials Mike Talmadge out of Lahana. He's been reffing for years. Still looks young enough to do it, but I bet he's been reffing for 25 years. Ramey's in on a single leg. Now he reaches up around the back of Hubbard. That allows Hubbard to use that whizzer. Ramey's still got the single up in the air, but Hubbard's got his foot hooked around the outside leg of Ramey, and they go out of bounds. It's a bad decision to reach up around the waist and allow that whizzer to happen. Oh, Hubbard's in on a nice low single. He turns the corner, he tripod circle. He's got Ramey's leg up in the air, and Ramey's still diving off. Hubbard's able to keep his toes in, and as they drag out of bounds, looked a lot like an NFL wide receiver catch on the sidelines. Ramey gives up the takedown. He's disgusted. He's got his hands on his hips, and he walks back to the center. But it was a good low single right off the whistle. Tell you what, against Hubbard, he better be ready if they're in neutral. Hubbard's coming. Hubbard loads him on the left side. Time runs out, so it's 2-0. Another one of those unfortunate situations where you give up points with no time left on the clock. Ramey wins the toss. He defers. Hubbard from Baca County chooses both up. Referee blows. This time Hubbard doesn't take the shot right away, but there he does. He takes a shot. Ramey just circles around behind him. If he can return him to the mat here, they're on their feet. If Ramey can circle around behind him, he's going to get two. He's got a cross face, and it looks like he's trying to get a cradle on the far side. But he's a little bit too high. Now he jumps to this other side. He's still got that cradle hooked up. And he's got 2 points. He's still got the cradle, but he better be careful because he's a little bit high. Now he's circling around the side. He's almost hip to hip. They're right there in the middle of the mat. Ramey's in business. He might be able to pull him back here. As he circles some more, he gets hip to hip. He's got a tight cradle. He must have a monstrous grip. He's pulling him back, and now he's getting back points. Hubbard's giving up back points right there in the middle of the mat, but Ramey's too high. His shoulder's actually behind the head of Hubbard. He's not going to get a pin here, but he keeps adjusting his position. He's got his bottom knee pushing his hip away. Now he gives that up. He takes his top leg, and he reaches over the top of Hubbard's far knee, and he pulls his hip over, but then Hubbard's able to peel his hand off, and Ramey gets 3 back points. So now Ramey's up 5-2 with 54 seconds left in the second period.
Trying to hook up that cradle again.
Hubbard's just trying to survive down there right now. I think he's trying to figure out how Ramey could be so strong to be able to crush his head to his knee like that. But here again, he makes a bad mistake. He was going to do an outside leg stand-up, and he had his head close to his knee. Ramey couldn't hook the cradle up, and now Hubbard breaks free. So now the score's 5-3 with 28 seconds left. They're circling. Hubbard looked like he was going to go to that low single again. Ramey's leading with his right leg. This time Hubbard shoots his left leg, and he's in on that single. He's trying to use his muscles just to pick him up, just use that brute force. Ramey's reaching inside like he's going to go for a spladle. He's pulling on that knee hard. Hubbard's getting his hips down, spreading his legs way far apart so he doesn't get flipped over and time runs out. So that was some good wrestling there by both wrestlers. Ramey, he was in so deep, that was about his only defense was the go spladle. And then once he got it, he was pulling hard on that leg, and Hubbard was so smart to get his feet wide apart and create that wide base, get his hips down so that he didn't give up the takedown. Ramey chooses down. Hubbard's got a leg in. He's trying to get that guillotine. He's pulling hard on it. Ramey's sitting down in front of him. They're in a crab ride position. Hubbard's trying to scoot, and he's trying to get Ramey to belly down to his shoulder side where he's got him pulled. And now he's got Ramey on his belly, but Ramey's got his arm out there to post out. Hubbard's trying hard to pull it back and get it around his head. Now he has it behind his head, but Ramey's able to hip down on that far side and get his arm back. Hubbard's got that hook in there, but he doesn't have his elbow on his back, so he's He's not going to be able to pull his arm out like that, and he has to let go of it. Ramey's bellied out in that big bird position. Talmadge, the referee, calls a stalemate. I'm glad he did, because nothing was going to happen there. 1:17 left in the third period. Ramey's up 5-3. He's down. So he's in the driver's seat. You know, he's down. He's up by 2. If Hubbard cuts him, he can give up a takedown still and still win. Minute and 9 seconds left. But he's going to have to get some action on bottom, because I guarantee you Talmadge isn't going to let him just lay there. Hubbard's got the legs in. Ramey just tries to hip around, does like a sit out, but they end up back in the position they started at. Ramey's not doing too much down there. Hubbard's still got his right leg in. He tries to hip across. He passes his hip for a second. Ramey showed some strength, and he was able to get back to his base. But now there's the stall call against Ramey, because Ramey was just laying there on his belly. 36 seconds left. He can afford to give up some stall calls. Okay, there's a stalemate. So Ramey can afford to give up 2 stall calls. That's 32 seconds worth of stalling, I think. Don't you, Jason?
Yep. Belly down and go from there.
Yeah, he just needs to not get crazy. He's still up 5-3. Like I said, that kid could even cut him, but it would take a throw for that kid to win. Hubbard puts the legs in again. If I was a Merino coach, I'd be so glad he's a leg rider.
Last thing he wants to do, though, is sit on that hip.
So Ramey's just bellied down again. He's like, hey, you want to ride the legs on me? Go ahead. He works up to his base again. Hubbard tries to pull him backwards. Ramey's definitely stalling down there, but he worked up to his base, so Talmadge couldn't call him for it. 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Now Talmadge calls a stall and gives a point, so it's 5-4. Hubbard tries to pass his hips, but that was just some smart wrestling, well-coached match there for Merino, as Ramey ends up winning 5-4 over Hubbard of Baca County, and he's going to go for third place. And that's going to finish this